Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
Society is breeding a new kind of criminal. It's also breeding a new kind of cop.
This is where the law stops, and I start.
Stallone is a cop called Cobra. The strong arm of the law.
Going? Okay. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. It feels good to say that. It feels good to say it again.
Thank you, President Donald Trump, for bringing these words back into our mouth like sweet kisses from an uncle who's now an angel in heaven.
Previous years, we've had, a winter solstice episode, a happy holidays episode,
A now deleted Kwanzaa episode.
but this year, for our Christmas episode, you're gonna run downstairs, Christmas morn, open up your podcast box. And what's gonna be in there? It's the movie Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone, directed by George P. Cosmatos, 1986's masterpiece, Cobra, a Golan Globus action movie classic.
I do want to put in that we had started working on a Christmas special for this year, but the UK tour and my subsequent complete moral and psychological bankruptcy after I returned from that just prevented me from being willing to put in the 25 plus hours it usually takes me to edit one of those bad boys. And so if you complain about there being a lack of a Christmas special this year, you are literally anti-worker. And you are canceled.
Yeah. Do you remember in the Charlie Brown Christmas special when all those children beat Charlie Brown for celebrating Hanukkah? But the point was that all holidays in December are Christmas. Maybe you should think about that while you're listening to this instead of our admittedly pretty great idea for a holiday special.
You'll hear it next year.
Yeah,
You
we'll do it next year.
I don't want no spoilers on that, but
You're not going anywhere, listener. You're fused. You're fused to that Aaron office chair that you found in a dumpster. You're already immune to MRSA from sitting on it.
Well,
you're going to hear it next year. Don't move. You won't. Trust me.
Well, I mean, if this
now they're going to move just to spite you, Felix.
Maybe I was trying to motivate them.
If this Christmas present isn't good enough for you, then just wait about a month. And if you are in Iowa City, Saturday, February 1st, there's something going on around that time of year next year in Iowa as well that we'll be there for. But specifically, Saturday, February 1st, Iowa City at the Engelbert Humperdinck Civic Center. No, this is the Englert Civic Center. Saturday, February 1st, Iowa City. We will be performing there. Then Sunday, February 9th, if you are in New Hampshire, we will be in the city of Derry at the Tupelo Music Hall. So those are
special guest Pennywise.
Those are two treats to look forward to in the new year. We have a very busy schedule in the new year, obviously gearing up for the election. Big things
The doings are transpiring.
Big things are doing. But now, we're here right now. It's Christmas morning, and I'd like to talk to you about one of our favorite films. It's a movie that's been referenced, I think, a fair amount on the show. We certainly talked about it before, and it definitely slides right into like the Chapo sort of fascist 80s action movie canon. And I would say that this is sort of the platonic ideal of a reactionary 80s action movie written by someone with a dog IQ.
Yes.
Yeah, this is...
And by that I mean Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Oscar-nominated screenwriter.
Did an Oscar-winning screenwriter?
He did not win.
Okay,
he was
did not
defeated
win?
by
Okay.
Patty Chayefsky.
No way,
yeah,
dude.
close
What?
call on that one.
Could
but
not
no,
see that coming.
Oscar-nominated screenwriter also wrote the screenplay for this film based on a novel, which is, in my mind, even funnier. The idea that this is the movie with the axe gang running around was somehow a piece of literature.
Well, for literature fans, you will remember Richard Yates' final novel, Cobra.
But no, for real, the novel that is based on is called Fair Game, and it's really just about a cop
It's about how Scooter Libby outed Valerie playing Wilson.
By the cop trying to keep a woman who saw a crime from getting killed. That's the entire, that's the only thing in it that's in this. The cop's name, spoiler alert, not Marion Cabretti. But they did remake it again under its real name, if anyone has ever seen the Billy Baldwin, Cindy Crawford movie Fair Game, based on the same book as Cobra.
Well, this one is from 1986, like I said, directed by George P. Cosmatos, father of Panos, if you're familiar with the films Beyond the Black Rainbow, and last year's Chapo Pick O' the Year, the incredible Mandy. So we got there's a strong lineage involved in producing this movie. You got the Cosmatos, and then you've got Stallone and his brother Frank.
Sadly not
involved in the movie in any way.
Spiritually, I think.
Spiritually, if you're like me, or if you follow Frank Stallone on Instagram or social media, you will realize that spiritually, intellectually, and politically, this bears the mark of Frank.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's got Frank all over it.
So, like I said, like if you want to understand the sort of trace the DNA of America's current slide into fascism, you really have to look at the Golan Globus movie production house of the 1980s, and this film in particular, for I would say more artfully, but also like inexplicably, in a way that this is what the movie gets to, is that fascism essentially, nothing about it makes sense. No one's reasons for doing anything have to be realistic or even sane, or like even have any internal logic. And in fact, it's better that it doesn't. And that is the pull, that is the draw here.
Pure action for its own sake.
Absolutely.
The action is the juice.
The action is the juice. So this is Cobra. I'll just say the movie begins with a voiceover by Sylvester Stallone, who says, "In America, there's a burglary every 11 seconds, a violent crime every 25 seconds, a murder every 24 minutes, and 250 rapes a day." And then it just just gears up, and he's like, "Time to go to work.
Time to make the donuts."
Time to make the donuts."
And while he's saying that, the camera is panning over his pearl-handled 40 black matte 45 caliber pistol, and while eventually it turns so that the barrel is pointing directly at the camera,
at you, the viewer.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, he is the voice of law enforcement in this country. But the very first thing the movie shows you,
Yeah.
the viewer, is a bullet being fired directly at your face.
Yes.
What if it's firing at a criminal who's taking you hostage while in the theater?
What if the criminal's right behind you right now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What if, this is sort of like a reverse Foucaultism, where everyone is their own criminal as opposed to in their own prison?
Do you think when Stallone first saw like a rough cut of this movie in that opening scene, he reacted similar to like the Edison Train movie when the gun gets fired?
Well, he probably, after seeing that and realizing he was not shot, was like, "Looks like I caught the bullet. I'm faster than I remember." And
like in the opening credit sequence, it's sort of intercut between a guy on a motorcycle pulling into the parking lot of a lovely grocery store in Southern California, but also intercut between very scary shots of sort of a group of people standing around, like, say, in an abandoned factory around sort of trash can fires, clanking axes together.
Yep. Just a couple of shiny stainless steel axes everyone's got, matching pair, in unison, clanging them over their heads.
Clank.
And it really is a cross-section of society, because you have people dressed like that 80s punks that were in all those movies with leather jackets and stuff.
Studs and shit.
But also just guys in suits, dudes who look like accountants and dentists and stuff, just banging the damn axes together.
So, in the world of this film, there exists a sort of pseudo-satanic, like nihilistic street gang that again, does crimes, does murders purely for the sake of killing people. There's no money involved in it at all. And as we later find out, the most interesting facet of this gang is that they all have day jobs.
Yes.
And they just congregate at night to sort of inaugurate what they call a new world that they will midwife through axe murders.
Yes. They're going to just randomly murder people until everyone just decides, You know what? We were really going to stick on this whole no murdering people thing. But if you guys keep insisting, fine. Murder is fine.
Well, there is, like, we alluded to, like, the accountants, the guys in suits in the X Gang, and that represents the ideological split in the X Gang. The PMC has unfortunately infiltrated X Gang and co-opted their radical language. But for the most part, it is about direct action. It's about raising awareness of how you can just murder someone with an axe. And hopefully, like, when, this is a loaded term in organizing, I know, but like regular people see that you can just murder whoever with an axe, they themselves will do it, and then we'll have revolution.
They kind of do a murderous version of a Break-like clinic in this movie.
Well, I mean,
great! This guy got elected. This guy got elected to Axe Gang National. Just great.
No, yeah, there's a lot of so there's the Axe Gang members that are into doing direct action. One of them, in specifically, who's the lead. He's sort of like the Gritty of the Axe Gang. And then there's sort of like the suit wearing day job having Axe Gang members that are just they're sort of wreckers.
Yeah.
And they come in and they're at the Axe Gang meetings and they're like just a reminder for folks, could you please clink your axes together instead of clapping during the Axe meetings?
Well, it's like everyone knows with the guys in suits who are coming into Axe Gang meetings, like they're gonna end up just supporting like an outlaw biker gang, something more in line with their PMC goals, and not the true revolutionary nature of
it's like
random axe murders.
You're going to join the Hells Angels to sell meth? What was it about the axe murderers? Yeah, now you're just trying to make money. It's pathetic.
Someone needs to buy the axes, though. And I know we're going. You're probably going into this new year. You're probably feeling pretty nihilistic yourself about the prospects of
clink some axes,
electoralism and democratic socialism. But I just want to say, everyone has to start somewhere with direct action. Step 1, find a friend in your community. Step 2, buy some axes.
Step 3, find a sewer to hang out in.
Yeah, find a sewer. Then you got housing secured. You're living in a sewer. You got axes. That's self-defense.
You have a barrel that's on fire.
Then
you have heating. You have heating in a kitchen.
Yes. And then, crucially, in the opening scene, go to the supermarket. Then you got to have food independence as well.
Yeah.
Then you prepare for an axe revolution. And that's easy. That's easy. Stop worrying about politics.
Yeah.
You're out there like a fucking chump phone banking for Sanders. I'm going to the grocery store and shooting fruit.
Well, yeah. So like this is there's a lot going on in this movie, but like the lessons I take it from it are about praxis and direct action.
For sure, this is a movie about that one.
It's about praxis.
Yeah. The first scene, of course, is a comrade, liberating a supermarket and turning it into a people's food bank by shooting up a pile of cantaloupes with a pump-action shotgun.
That was it. Guy goes in, stumbles around inside a Christmas theme, because it is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Everybody tells you Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Come back with Cobra as a Christmas movie, and you'll own them forever, and they'll have to kill themselves. And so he just pulls out from his coat a shotgun and just starts going to town on the produce, and everyone's screaming and running. But that's it. He doesn't shoot anyone. He's just shooting fruit. And then they do a cordon around the place. The cops are there. And then once he's got a hostage situation, he does kill a guy. He says, you can run away. And the guy starts running down the aisle. And, of course, he shoots him in the back.
Yeah, he blows him away with a shotgun. I would like to note, for all my fellow film buffs out there, the comrade who liberates the grocery store in the beginning of the movie is played by the same actor who you might remember as Kenny Powers' Mexican baseball coach from season 2 of Eastbound and Down.
Yes.
Or perhaps the guy who refuses to give Jake Nightcrawler Gyllenhaal a job at the beginning of the film Nightcrawler.
Was he also Clint Eastwood's boss in The Rookie?
Yes, I think he was.
Yeah. He's got an Edward James Olmos thing going on in that they look very similar. And they both have a lot of pock marks. He is like Edward James almost.
Marco Rodriguez.
He is Edward James almost.
So yeah, it immediately becomes a hostage situation. And he's like, I'm going to create a new world. I'm going to create a new world from the ashes of these this fucking cereal. So the cops pull up, and then immediately you see in any 80s action movie must have at least one of these characters.